Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Queen's Club in London for the final of this year's British Amateur Doubles. My name is Ben Gatenbeek. I will be calling you through the match this afternoon. We have the three C-court players already on court warming up, and in somewhat typical fashion we've just been joined by our fourth player, Rory Giddins from the Queen's Club. Him being late to the start of a match is not a new phenomenon, it must be said. We'll talk you through, just as we approach the start of the match, how all these particular pairs reach this place. The semi-finals were back on Monday, so we've had 5 days of singles tennis in the interim to entertain us, as these players have been waiting to play in this final. And don't forget, we will have coverage of the singles final for you tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 p.m. So let's do some player introductions, starting with Rory Giddins, playing out of the Queen's Club, was a varsity blue for Oxford for many years, and this is, as with all of the players, his first appearance in a British Amateur Doubles final. He will be looking to add to that amateur singles rackets title that he defended earlier in the year. Rory has been at the semi-final stage of this competition last year, and that Henry Leafer Championship, that's the Alumni Schools Championship, played here at the Queen's Club every year, playing for Eton with his brother Jamie. And this year Rory has partnered with C-Court's Will Flynn. Will Flynn playing off a doubles handicap of 10.3, based out of C-Court. And in that semi-final match, he was probably the more solid of the pair, really providing that anchor roll at the back of the court, playing a lot of the balls in the air very, very well. Just saying, Will was a finalist last year. He lost that match, made the quarterfinals of the British Open 2 years ago, and again, very established position on the amateur circuit. As a pair, this pair has played in one previous tournament. That was on the representing Great Britain on the Van Allen George Lim Tour to Washington in 2023. Their opponents today are a well-established C-Court pairing. Start here by looking at James Medlow, aged 18, and that doubles handicap of 15.4, and he looked very, that's a handicap that looked very underrated in his semi-final performance. He played the aggressive role so well up at the net volleying. Reached the semi-finals of this particular competition 2 years ago, plenty of junior titles in the doubles championships as well to his name. And then this week he has teamed up with Max Trueman, who hopes that his amateur status doesn't last much longer, as he's looking to take up the professional job at Tuxedo at any point once he gets his visa sorted. But in the meantime, he is still eligible for this particular event, playing off that doubles handicap of 10.6. His career finalist, that open quarterfinal he played with his opponent today, Will Flynn, and reached the amateur semi-final 2 years ago. In that Paul Weaver doubles champion, that's the C Court doubles championship. So as a pair, these two have played that British Junior Open, the doubles tournament out at Hollyport, and won that 2 years ago. So the path that these particular teams have taken to reach the final.
I didn't think it was going that quick.
So Medlow and Trueman played their first round match a week ago, which they played against Charlie DeFries and Mark Matthias. They won that 3 sets to 1, 6-3, 3-6, 6-2, 6-2. Then they had an epic encounter with the first seeds, Jamie Giddins and Rob Shankman, back on Monday evening that lasted 4 hours. That match in 5 sets, 6-4, 4-6, 6-5, 5-6, 6-5. And the upset win brings them to their first amateur final. In the meantime, Rory Giddins and Will Flynn, they got a bye through the first round. In their semi-final match, they played Nick James and Richard Elmett and won that in 4 sets, 5-6, 6-2, 6-love, 6-5. Players now making their final preparations. It'll be underway very shortly. And it looks like Will Flynn will take that first serve. So in that tight bubble we've seen back on Monday. First few points just testing Will at the back of that court. Each of those points coming from racket areas off the volley. Expect both pairs just to take a little while to get used to playing again. Especially Flynn and Giddins, given that they've only played on that Van Allen tour before. Definitely in that first match, it was all about them getting to understand each other's play styles and how best to utilise each other's strengths. We saw in that first match at the start, the first set, Giddins and Flynn were playing server up. But that strategy very quickly switched to being Giddins permanently up at the galleries. That's the first opening of the match. Grill going to Rory Giddins. And again, we're still in these early stages, just seeing the players feeling each other out. Nothing too spectacular yet, but that will come. Again, in doubles, you'll see the players leaving those hazard chases a lot. Hazard chases are, or chases in general, are hard to come by with two players defending the back of the court or a guy up at the galleries. So in general, your doubles play will be to leave as many of those chases as possible when you're at the hazard side. So she'll start off with a railroad for Max Trueman. First time we'll see him serving this match. And after just one serve, we will see Medlow serving. Medlow played up the galleries for his pretty much the entire match, 2.5 hour match that was played back on Monday, because that first semi-final went on so long. The second semi-final didn't start until nearly 10 p.m. So the lights all went out halfway through. And during that match, Medlow, playing up at the galleries, ended up wearing one on the chin. Ricocheted off the second gallery post. Looks to be okay after that, and looks to be okay this afternoon. Still none of the players have really found a good rhythm yet. Flynn just starting to, but plenty of racket errors on both sides as we work our way into this match. chase of the first gallery now. Seen that from all the C-Court boys over the course of this tournament. Very aggressive on hitting that winning gallery. See that shot into that winning gallery came off the bottom of that bando. So better than 6 chase now. We haven't really seen Flynn take control of that ball in the air as we saw in his semi-final. He's still a little bit scratchy. The thing with these 3 C-Court players, Medlow, Trueman and Flynn, there are no secrets between them. They've played each other and seen each other play so often over the years. Mustn't forget our marker today, Bryn Sayers. Bryn is the senior professional here at the Queen's Club. Bryn is off to the US Open after this. Looking to make that at least a semi-final would be a success for him. Definitely think he is good for making the quarterfinals. So that's that shot into the dead on. Just a little bit earlier in that game. I believe we do have a number of British amateurs already in the US this week at the Tuxedo Gold Racket. That's being played this weekend at the Tuxedo Club. I believe we've got Bertie Vallet, Henry Henman at the top of the British game over there in Tuxedo. As well as I believe Mike Henman and Nick Jones are also in that draw. So if you are watching from Tuxedo, we'd love to hear from you. How is the tennis going over there? How are the rackets going over there? That's a crazy pickup by Rory Giddins. Just think that Max has found a little bit of an opening just on the gap between Rory's forehand and Flynn's backhand. We saw in the singles that Giddins doesn't really like that ball volleying in the air when it's hit at pace at him. Still exchanging juices here. Neither pair quite got a clean run going yet. Interesting on that last ball. Max had given up on it, but James was good enough to cover as such. He was able to get it back. Great reflexes from Medlow. So it has a chase now. Serve that road and head up. And that exactly there is the line that is serving Max Trueman very well at the moment. Just threading that gap between Rory's forehand and Will's backhand. Max tries climbing the wall, doesn't quite work out for him in the end. Set up for it earlier in the rally as well. Great shot in the end to finish it. It was interesting halfway through that point that Max let Medlow take that ball off the back roof. In the semi-final, that was always Max's ball. That's the force off the hazard chase from before. Just getting it into that gap there. Great stuff to see from Trueman. Again, knowing where all the strengths and weaknesses in his opponent lie. So the chase a yard worse than last gallery. The way this match is panning out so far, we could very well be in for a long one. Yeah, Max not quite able to put that ball off the penthouse away properly. Up on the penthouse again. Gave Rory just enough to get it over and into the dead on. So another chase here. And this, all of a sudden, looks like that little bit of a break that Flynn and Giddins were hoping for. On paper, Flynn and Giddins are the stronger pair on doubles handicaps. But given that Trueman and Medlow took down Giddins and Schenkman back in the semi-finals, anything's possible. So we have a 4-2 lead now. That game just going by quite quickly. And the servers just seem to have found that little bit of rhythm that they needed now. We've seen the number of racket errors come way down. And they look to be in a very good rhythm. Saw the points one statistic on the board not that long ago. It was very close. I've just gone a little bit the way of the servers, as that Nick Railroad will help very much for Giddins and Flynn. Oh, Trueman does very well there and set up to play the ball directly off the timber. Realised it wasn't going to work out. And very quickly it readjusts to play off that battery wall. And again, defending the winning gallery. Great stuff by Max Trueman there. So first set point here now to the servers. We really have seen them race from a He has seen a race from a 2-all, very tight first couple of games, right through to getting a very quickly to that 5-2 mark. Seemingly in no time at all. All it takes is a few minutes of lapse of concentration and this match can get away from you. Set point better than 5. And that will be enough to take the first set. Flynn and Giddins again racing away with it. Medlow will be serving to Flynn in this second set. Medlow and Trueman have responded positively to dropping the set, which is always good to see. One of the things with Giddins and Flynn is that both of them are confidence players. If they start to go behind, they really can struggle. But with Trueman and Medlow, both of them are very happy just to keep playing the game no matter what the scoreline is. Don't seem to feel that scoreboard pressure quite as much. As they just sneak to quick grills. This is exactly the start to the set that Trueman and Medlow need. Just look to have a good run of points, really preventing Flynn and Giddins getting too much of the serve, which they have obtained back now. Big high five there from Medlow and Trueman. Medlow lucky not to get his head taken out halfway through that point. Just this shot here, Medlow ending up in the middle of the court. Trueman just noticing they're not going to go straight back down the middle. So chase of worse than second gallery now. excellently put away. He had to get that because of the chase on the board. Can't leave the hazard. But Medlow and Trueman have responded to being down a set well. They have brought up a 2-love lead. And Will Flynn finds the winning gallery for the second time this match. It is some truly great tennis we are witnessing this afternoon already. Just puts that in the hazard galleries. He was hoping for another winning gallery there. Very tight angle on it. Very difficult shot to make. He's hanging back a bit now. In that first match, Giddins looked particularly comfortable when he was making that forward to back transition very well. See that ball that just comes off the top of that net tape. Flynn does very well not to swing too hard at it, and then depositing that winning gallery. Great stuff from the young man. So hazard chase now. And that is a full stretch volley from Rory Giddins. Slapping it down like he's playing volleyball to win that chase. Trueman and Medlow using this service end to its full advantage at the moment. Medlow wandering into that middle of the court. Trueman does well to avoid him. Looking for that winning gallery. This is playing off, oops, not this one. This one is the one playing off the hazard chase just before. Watch Giddins in this particular rally at that full stretch. Thank you very much. So first chase is 6. Again, even on that short chase, Rory is wandering up to that last gallery line when he can. All of a sudden, the receivers have built out a 3-1 lead in this set. And that's unlucky for the Seacourt pair. It's just hit just the most unfortunate angle on that timber. Good crowd in the dead-on for this afternoon's match. A few people up in that members bar area as well. Good to see the support for the stars of the future. Don't forget, the singles final is on tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, between Rob Schenkman and Jamie Douglas. That's starting at 2:30. Do come along if you are in London. That ball just tickling that top out of court line. It's interesting to see that Max went for it. He thought either he could get the dead on or hit that back wall for a chase, but Will Flynn was up to it. Actually an excellent shot there from Max Trueman at full stretch, defending that grill, just threatening to lob up there. This one from earlier in the last game. Just gets that unfortunate bounce off the tambo. So chase the line. A big moment in this match here. Big moment because if they defend that, they're favourites for that game for a 4-1 lead. As it stands, this set is close again. Oh, and that's just hit Max's racket on the way through. Just couldn't keep that periscope down. That's up and out of court. Giddins and Flynn have hit 3 dead-ons, but I believe that might be the first that Flynn has hit of the pair. And we are back to 3-all. What great stuff again off the bando, and Medlow cannot run it down this time. All through this match, we've seen nothing funky or special on the serve. Both pairs very happy to go for those standard bobble or demi PKs, just to try and keep the hitting down. Great play by James Medlow. Just took that last little peek just to see where his opponents were. All of a sudden we've seen a bit of dead-on hitting from Will Flynn here. Let's just have a quick look at that one from earlier. So this hits the bando and just, as he's trying to duck under the way from it, leaves his racket up. He's not seen that at all. So chase of better than second gallery here. And slots it down the middle. Definitely over the course of this match, Flynn and Giddins have started to look so good from that service end. A combination of Flynn at the back and Giddins at the front really working wonders now. I just realised we haven't actually seen the stats from the first set yet, so I'll just put those up on the screen quickly. So this is from the first set. That serves 1%, just dying off as Flynn and Giddins ran away with it. You didn't quite get the sense watching it that it was quite so low. Like in the first set, it started close, but Flynn and Giddins are just threatening to run away with it a bit here. Just in the last 5-10 minutes, Will Flynn has hit 4 dead-ons. Oh, and that is a good serve. Giddins is questioning it up high, but looked good all the way through. It's just fallen on the stroke line. So this is the serve in question. Giddins just asking about that ball hitting. That's not the serve. My apologies. So chase is worse than the second gallery. And chance. Big points here for Medlow and Trueman to try and get back in this. And they have, it is 4-all in this second set. In that first set, Flynn and Giddins just seemed to run away with it in the last 10 minutes. Wrapped up some games quite quickly. The first 4 were very close. Fishes that out of the gallery. Well done. One of the things over the course of this doubles tournament, seen just how good James Medlow is at playing with these guys. Just that little bit younger, which means he hasn't quite received the same attention as Max and Will have, but boy, he's holding his own here at Queen's this week. 'And that has just floated up into the grill. Max was just a little bit too far forward. He's been fairly good at defending that grill so far today. So 5-4 now as we are at the end of this set. Who has the serve? It's going to prove very vital to how this particular one finishes. Trueman and Medlow need a chase very, very quickly. Again, just learning them. So many of Trueman's dead-ons so far have come from hitting that space between Giddins and Flynn. Flynn is normally pretty good defending them on his forehand. It's just a little bit of a weakness in Giddins' game, that dead-on defence. He's up to the mark there though. That ball was coming with some pace. And that one has just slowed up off that back wall. 40-30 now. Giddins cannot touch the net when he's up that far. That ball called a chase. No, called a stroke. We are at 5 games all here in this second set. Max and James doing it somewhat the hard way, trying to get points at that receiving end to win the set. And another big high five there between the Seacourt pair. Every point so vital now, the pressure really on. Just how will this match swing? And again, exploiting that gap between the pair. Haven't quite figured out how best to cover that yet. It is difficult in doubles, so the way the angles work, but is it just that little bit of a weakness? So Mini Juice put 2 points together now and you'll take the set. What a great point. What a fantastic rally. There must have been 30 or 40 shots in that rally. Neither side wanting to give anything in this match. And eventually Will Flynn finishes it with a winning gallery. He has hit 4 of those so far this afternoon. That's the one just before. And now it is set point with a chase of worse than 6. So set point here, worse than 6 chase. That one looking for those hazard galleries. And the hard hit onto the timber will save that set point. We are 5-all and deuce now. And now it is set point the other way. First set point to Trueman and Medlow. And they take the set. Big high fives from that grill. And they'll take a short break. Well, what a set that was. Now 1 set all here. And it's anybody's guess how this match will continue to play out. Players just taking a short break to collect the balls and change shirts, get a bit of nutrition in. Very much setting up for a lengthy one here this afternoon. This, I believe, is that set point that finished in the grill. Just enough opportunity, not the grill, sorry, yes, the grill. That shot there and that big high five. Still missing Rory. There he comes back down those side galleries. So underway now into the 3rd set. Where will this match go from here? First ball there called a chase, better than 2. very important for Flynn and Giddins here not to lose heart. They had that set point on the better than 6 chase. As I've said before, both Flynn and Giddins can at times be confidence players. Need to feel everything's going their way. So let's have a look at that second set. Those serves won much better now for Medlow and Trueman. All the way through the whole set. A little bit of advantage on the points won, even on the points served. 3 winning galleries in that set, all to Will Flynn. And now a better than 2 chase. That will not do it. Saw Trueman and Medlow in the semi-final in a match that lasted 4 hours. We saw Flynn and Giddins, their match went 2.5 hours, so all will be used to these long matches at the moment. That's a great volley from Will Flynn. Just getting that racket on it with enough to get it back over. Let's see that again. Yeah, really, really well judged. Giddins is calling that a fault. And the marker is in the dead on. It is the call of the receiver as to where that ball lands. Set already very tight again, just as the previous one was. Going for the galleries, hits high. Eventually ends up with the last gallery. So let's have a look at that fault call, so it hits the back wall and is coming down. That's the first bounce there. And to my eye, has come down on the line. So that should have been a hazard chase. Again, Rory is right there. He's right on top of it. He can see that very clearly. Not to matter. Rely on the players' honesty with those calls. And now we have a last gallery chase here. All of a sudden, really for the first time in the match, Medlow and Trueman have just a 2-love lead in the match. So how will Flynn and Giddins respond to that? You'd like to see Flynn just testing out that force a bit more at that receiving end. It's interesting to watch Max's positioning there on the timbre side. Hovering well up even when the ball is coming straight. So anything, unless it's very tight on that side wall on the main wall, then he is hanging out there, just as you see in the picture there. He was further back on the court a little bit earlier in that. Rory coming back to play that ball. Probably was Will's to play. Will had that covered. Finally seeing a bit more pace from Flynn there. Medlow through much of that point, covering that backhand off the timbre very, very well. That one just a little bit too tight perhaps. It was definitely the case in the semi-final and also the case here. And Giddins has been volleying well up in that position. The pairing has looked particularly good. It's just gone a little bit weak in the last few points. That one's gone. Could get anywhere. And well put away by James in the end. He is really relishing his role this afternoon. Great to see him challenging it with these top guys. And again, that Giddins volley just faltering a little bit now. Can he bring it back? Bit of tactics discussion going on here. They're down 3-love now. They had a set point for 2-love. Just looks to be unraveling a little bit. Again, that just watching Giddins' volleying there, it's not got the same amount of venom that it had a little bit earlier. But he is not going to miss an opportunity like that. Just again, just be careful he doesn't touch the net when he's that far up. Well, Flynn again hitting that winning gallery. He has hit 5 now this afternoon. Great shooting from him. A little bit surprised we haven't seen Max hit any. It is a favourite target of his as well. And I think when you hear Giddins start to talk back to himself, you can get a sense that he is feeling under a bit of pressure. Oh, behind the back shot. And that is great stuff from James Medlow. Really stayed in that rally. Putting a little bit of pressure on Giddins' volley. Almost another winning gallery there. And pressure really coming on that Giddins volley right now. As we'll have a look at that behind the back shot from moments ago. Great stuff by James Medlow. Really proving that this is the level he is at. That he can and does deserve to be here. So looking now for a 4-1 lead. And there it is. The momentum has completely shifted in this match. Early in that second set, it looked like a one-way traffic for Giddins and Flynn, and it looks to have completely unravelled now. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Just coming the wrong way off of that penthouse. Max climbed into the gallery to swing up out of the way. It was a fantastic rally up to that point as well. And that has just completely flummoxed Rory Giddins. Can't really believe what happened there. So better than half a yard is the chase. And both Will and Rory seem to be just missing a few shots right now. Said it before, both of them play a confidence game. And just the last little bit, they just seem to have completely missed their confidence. Flynn missed a volley just before that he's been hitting so well all afternoon. Rory missed the ball completely off the hazard chase. have a quick look at. This is the ball that Rory swung and missed at completely. Just completely misreading that. Just expected to play that off the half volley, but it's a good racket head away from it. It's not what you normally see from Rory Giddins. Second gallery is the chase. So this to make it 5-2 and really put the pressure on. It's gone up and out of court. It is now 5-2. The Seacourt pair has absolute control of this match at this point. Max just has to be careful that he doesn't get too complacent in this set. If that scoreboard was a little bit tighter, I don't think he would have tried to play that behind the back shot. Just needs to focus a little bit. I think that for Max and James to win this set straight away in this first opportunity would absolutely break the confidence of Giddins and Flynn. So 2 chases now. And a chance for Flynn and Giddins just to get some momentum back. This set is playing out in a somewhat similar way to the first set, just in the opposite direction, which was a bit cagey to start with, and then Giddins and Flynn ran away with it. And we're seeing the opposite scenario right now. Chase 3 and 4. Chase now worse than second gallery. Giddins hanging back to start with. And that is very loose. There was a couple of options in that rally to target those galleries. Giddins was not up to defend them. Point serve stat was much closer not that long ago. Giddins ducking well out of the way. This doesn't go up. This set has demoralised him greatly. There's that long point of the previous rally. Max just reading the play so well up there. Ready to defend at that winning gallery if necessary. So worse than 5 is the chase now. And crucially for Medlow and Trueman, they are back at the service end as they look to close out this set. Just beating Rory Giddins. So likes to play the ball off that battery wall if he can. Ball called not up, worse than 3. Still very cagey out there. Flynn and Giddins trying to find something, find some positive to take into the 4th set. At the moment, the way they're playing just doesn't quite look like they're going to make it their way back in this one. But you never know, anything can happen in tennis. Players have come back from much bigger deficits in the past. Worse than 3 is the chase. We're seeing a railroad from Rory Giddins. And Flynn straight away attacking at those hazard galleries. Just a little bit too much. More tactics discussion here between the two. Looks like Rory has had some sort of idea. Just leaving that hazard chase of 2 yards. Flynn's volleying looks just a little bit recovered. It had gone a bit slack a little bit in this match. But James Medlow finding the dead on. Rory still can't quite believe it. High up and out of court. And the pressure is really on Giddins and Flynn now in this match, in this set in particular. It's well called by Trueman. Just that ball going around the grill. In the end it comes to naught. Oh sorry, no it doesn't, they win the point from it. Yeah. In any case, well read by Medlow to get in there and defend that ball under the grill. It's just tipped over the net. crazy way to end that point there. Flynn was way out of position. Still just under that sheer amount of pressure from the scoreboard. Giddins cannot believe he's not tried to put a racket on that ball. So it is set point now. With a hazard chase to come. Good to see the crowd in. Best crowd we've had so far at this year's British Amateur. Lots of interest in who wins the British Amateur. It's one of those titles that sticks with you the rest of your life. People still refer to great players of the past by the number of amateur titles that they have won. So hazard chase 2 now. Still going for that bobble serve. And it is a tight bobble. It takes the set. A fantastic serve by Medlow under the pressure of set point. Some more discussion here. Giddins has gone to towel off. So Medlow will serve. So there's a bit of a discussion on tactics here. So no, Medlow's going to serve. Are they going to change receivers or not? They have lost the last 2 in a row. Looks like the discussion there was Rory said, should we just mix it up? And Will said, why not? So Medlow to Giddins in the 4th set. Very weak volley from Trueman there. One of the reasons I like the change and choice of receiver from Flynn and Giddins. Regardless of the strengths of the returning and the serving, it's just that it gives the game a little bit of a shake-up. Just forces Trueman and Flynn to adjust. Trueman and Medlow to adjust. And an option for the 3 sets. As Giddins just tips that one over instead of the hazard chase. See this shot here, which sent Medlow scrambling. Not quite the fully committed Ollie Pridmore dive. That Ollie Pridmore dive is very popular amongst some of the younger players on the circuit, as we saw in the brochure of the Seacourt Silver Racket this year. Which shot would you steal? All the young players went for the Ollie Pridmore slide. Be interesting to see when we see Ollie Pridmore back here in the UK. He's gone down back to Hobart for university after spending 12 months playing tennis across the UK. So next chase is better than the door. And that's just hit grill bando. And that's hit dead on bando. Up, out of court. How unlucky can you be on both ends of the court? As the ball came off the frame from Medlow in that second last shot there, set Giddins up to win that particular point. And a weak volley from Rory Giddins. Not really sure how that ball was meant to go over the net from playing that particular shot. Just sticking his racket directly over his head. Particular shot of Rory coming across, playing that volley on his forehand. He played that exactly like a rackets ball. This is that ball, rally that hit two different opening bandos. We just didn't get a third off the winning gallery bando in the end. Yeah, great volley by Rory Giddins there though. And up out of court from Will Flynn. Back live. Bit unfortunate from Flynn there. Fourth deuce now of this particular game. Really crucial in deciding which way the momentum swings next. Just into that top of that net tape. A few of those, the last few points. Have to do use again. A reminder that Flynn and Giddins were up set point better than 6 in that second set. How different would this match look if they'd won that point? So the first game of the set does go to Flynn and Giddins. They by no means are comfortable in this set yet. Flynn just going for the galleries there. Medlow was playing back through much of that point, so the galleries were open. Medlow is just dropping back a little bit more than he perhaps was earlier in the match as well now. Yeah, sure, he'll go and play up, and he needs to. I think in that particular case, he actually got in Max's way. Max was perfectly lined up for that backhand volley there, if required. Yeah, I don't think, unless Max is feeling a bit tired, I think James was saying that there was a fault in there that was incorrectly credited as a point. As such, we'll get to change ends at the worse than 6 chase instead. So let's see how that third set went. 33 minutes for the set. Medlow and Trueman hardly getting any chases, but in a complete turnaround from that first set. That serves one statistic was down at 30% in the first set, up at 76% in the third set. And that will win the chase. Speaking of that serves one statistic, in singles play it very rarely varies from below 50 or above 60%, unless the match is completely one-sided. In doubles there is so much more variation on who is winning points from the serving end. Much more. You see players and pairs have strong patches and weak patches from that end way more than you do in singles. We were saying earlier that Rory had lost a bit of his touch in the gallery position. He looks to have found that back now, as they are slowly building a lead here in the fourth set. Medlow just kind of a little bit out of position there. I think Max, when he does move up to be in position to defend that winning gallery, that's because he is reading Will a lot more, because he has played with and against Will so much, knows when he's going for that winning gallery. I think Medlow, just a little bit more inexperienced, didn't quite need to be in that position for it. Just going to leave that for a hazard chase. And after that very long deuce game to start the set, all of a sudden it's looking like it might be 3-love to Giddins and Flynn. Great match we are witnessing this afternoon here at the Queen's Club. It has a chase, so the hazard galleries aren't open at the moment. And Max Trueman eventually finds that winning gallery. It took him a while, but it came in the end. Playing that boasting game, just don't want to risk hitting it into those hazard galleries if you can avoid it. So, chase better than 2. To look back on that point, the chase was hazard better than a yard. And was able to, both sides, playing some excellent tennis. And just sneaks it into the winning gallery right at the end. Got the width that he needed on it, just there. All right, better than 2, the chase now, back live. Although they lost it in the end, still plenty of pressure being put on them. Over 2 hours into this match so far, still doesn't look like we're anywhere closer to finding a winner, really. It's just swayed back and forth this whole way through. this is the point. They're playing chase better than 2. Just being able to stay accurate the whole way through the point, either on the floor or in the air. Just keep them under that pressure is credit to just how these two are playing at the moment. In the end, it wasn't to be with that longer, harder hit. Looking at it from the other angle now. You can see they have to play every ball here. Really is quality tennis out there this afternoon. Another excellent serve. Both these sides have been serving those softer balls really well, just preventing those harder hit shots. And Medlow and Trueman are now on the board in this 4th set. Just how will this one finish? Still could go either way. Again, now that they're not under quite so much pressure, Medlow still playing a little bit further back in the court. He will regret not putting a racket up for that, as Giddins finds that dead on once again. I think that James is probably hanging a little bit too far back. When he drifts back to around about chase 3 or chase 4, he kind of gets in the way of Max just a little bit. He's up at last gather, I think. In general, he's just been that little bit better. So this is the point that ended in a Rory Giddins dead on. And then a fist pump between the pair. And Medlow will regret not putting a racket on this last ball. It's definitely within reach of him. So chase 2, and that is sizzling into the dead on. Is the momentum swinging the other way again? Will Giddins and Flynn just hold on to that service end just long enough to get that 4-1 lead in this set that they're after. That is a lovely kill by Rory Giddins onto the base of that timbre. I've said through the semi-final and today as well, when Rory Giddins is struggling with his volleying, the whole pairing seems to struggle. When he is on it with that volley, the whole pairing does well. The pace being brought by Max now. Ball coming so close to the battery wall, difficult to get some pace on it for Flynn. And that last shot, just a little bit too loopy. There's advantage to the receivers now. See that dead on from James Medlow. Mostly seen Trueman with the power hitting so far in this particular match. So the chase is worse than last gallery now. I think Max tried to call him off that, but I think it was wise to be hit in the end. And Trueman and Medlow have gone most of the way to erasing what was a 3-love deficit. So this particular game now shaping up as one of the most crucial in the match. Trueman and Medlow would love to bring it back to 3-all now. And then have a chance of closing out the set. I think Trueman's hitting, his shooting's just gotten that much better over the past 10-15 minutes or so compared to what it was just before. So I'm just going to use this change of ends just to highlight some of the past winners of this tournament. This tournament has been won by Ed Kay and Jamie Giddins on 4 occasions going back to 2019, no competition in 21 due to COVID. And before that, we saw Peter Wright and Jamie Douglas winning it on 6 occasions. But neither Ed Kay nor Peter Wright in the draw this year to defend. Luke Danby and Connor Medlow won it once in 2015, and 12 and 13 was Julian Snow and Connor Medlow. would love to put his name on the honours board alongside his brothers. And Giddins would love to put his name on the honour board alongside his brother. And so it is now 3 games all in this 4th set. Reminder, it was 3-love in this set to Giddins and Flynn. They have let it slip to 3-all. How do they compose themselves for the business end of the 4th set? Trueman and Medlow would love a chase here. Just like that, slots the second gallery chase. Going a bit further back on that honours board, we saw Dave Harms and Alistair Lumsden win it in 2010. We've seen Dave Woodman on the board a couple of occasions, 2007, 2008, with Neil Roxburgh and Jamie Douglas. Going back into the history books, you see a lot of the name Julian Snow littering those history books. That has just gone on the inside corner between Will Flynn and the Timbre. All of a sudden we are back to deuce from 40-love down in this particular game. Point now for that 4-3 lead for a tight serve. Just one extra bounce fools Giddins on the serve. That's the flying volley from Trueman, not enough in the end. Still deuce. A big point for Flynn and Medlow and Trueman when you're at deuce, conceded that 1 and 2 chase already. It's almost as though you are advantage down, especially in doubles. This is the ball that just gets between Flynn and the wall in just a second. Just that one there. Couldn't quite believe it, Will Flynn. So chase now 1 and 2. It was always going to be a little bit too much on such a short chase. And we are back to deuce. Tension high here at the Queen's Club. Oh, what a shot from Will Flynn. Finding yet another winning gallery. He has been targeting that all afternoon. What excellent doubles we are witnessing tonight. Back to deuce again. Fifth deuce now going advantage the way of the servers. Again, what a crucial game this looks like it's turning out to be. It's just jammed him up against the sidewall. Options here for Medlow. And it just gets it behind both of them for a chase of worse than 2. Let's look back at the point that ended in the winning gallery for Will Flynn. Just patrolling the back of the court. Look at that, look at that footwork. Just the way that he shuffles along both sides of the court and eventually gets that opening. So worse than 2 is the chase now. Lets it go, called as chase off. What a call from the marker, Bryn Sayers. And such a crucial point too. And all of a sudden we are back to deuce again. That's just rolled the wrong way as well for Medlow. And we'll just have a quick look. So this is the ball that was called chase off moments ago. And that's that second bounce just there. Excellent call from the marker. Bryn Sayers is indeed chased off. The chase, remember, was worse than 2. So just as a reminder, this is the doubles final of the British Amateur. We will have the singles final for you tomorrow afternoon from 2:30 live right here on the T&RA YouTube channel. That match will be played between Jamie Douglas and Robert Shankman. And that promises to be an absolute epic as well, just as we are witnessing this afternoon here. If you are in London, do come down and have a watch. There is no admission charge at all. So chase is the second gallery now, with a very short chase to follow. And the boast is excellently executed by James Medlow. That's exactly what he needed, because this chase is going to prove difficult. And just like that, we are back to deuce again. The 7th deuce. That ball not quite getting its way over the net. Now advantage to the servers yet again. Oh, and there's frustration there from Rory Giddins. That's come off the net post and just out of position. Couldn't quite get that ball back. And brilliantly done once again from James Medlow, using his power very well in his boasting. Just getting that great angle on the doubles court between the two players. And Rory's volley once again in the dead on. Not good enough, and it is worse than a yard. And advantage to Medlow and Trueman. There's that ball just before that skimmed off the top of the net. Not much that Rory could do with it there. So, big opportunity now for Medlow and Trueman. One thing this ball is going to do, and that's going to come with pace if possible. And Flynn let that go. He knew he couldn't get on it. And that big point and that big deuce game, 7 deuces, has finally gone the way of Medlow and Trueman. Remember, they were down 3-love in this particular set. How will Giddins and Flynn respond? Ball just called fault, rolling around the roof. That's one of the slowest dead-ons that Will Flynn has hit for quite some time. Great response here from Giddins and Flynn at the receiving end, have brought up a 40-love lead in this game. Still looking to close out the game, Flynn and Giddins. Ball like that won't help. Lobs it up, threatening to go grill. Flynn has a look, and just all he can do is find the net. That is very unfortunate for Flynn. That will do it. We are back at 4-all now in this fourth set. Very quick game compared to the one immediately before it. Great power from Trueman in the rally, but in the end, it was the racket error on the volley from James Medlow that decides it. Acrobatics by Trueman to get out of the way of that one. And eventually takes that has proved too much for Flynn and Giddins. And now they have a chance to get to that crucial fifth game first. Seen some excellent volleying from both of this serving pair across the last 4 or 5 games. That points one statistic, just 2 points in it across the whole match so far. Finally, Flynn manages to get a chase, get down this serving end once again. The ability in the air from these young players, absolutely fearless. Just getting out of the way of that last one, Max Trueman. So first gallery chase, watch out for the galleries on this particular point. A lot of pressure on Giddins, you imagine. Goes for the gallery's first up. Gets that width. Almost gets the door. And can't quite complete that final shot, Max Trueman. And all the time as the ball rolled around the roof, and we are at juice again. That is some great volleying from both pairs. Some excellent display of doubles tennis, absolutely worthy of a final here this evening. Well, however this finishes, we will have had a worthy winner, you imagine. Both pairs have played some exceptional doubles tennis over the course of this match. Neither pair has had an easy ride either to the final or in the final. Has a chase here. Rory launches way up, and that is into the upper gallery. That ball has not come back down yet. He's trying to play the shot, which he hits the net from the other side, but just got a little bit too lofty on it. That last ball, the easy one, it's so easy to fluff up that easier ball when you've had the lead in the rally the whole way through. And a big grill there for Medlow and Trueman. Brings up that fifth game, one game away from the British Amateur Doubles Championship. That is some excellent shooting from Max Trueman. Looking for that winning gallery, can't quite find it, which draws the error, raises the racket in apology there. It is still tight though. Giddins and Flynn are by no means out of this match. Medlow leaves that one go for a chase. I think anything that he gets on that is probably not going back over, at least in his mind. decided better just to leave it. And that is the first match point to Medlow and Trueman. It is that grill just from moments ago. First match point, however, it is on a chase 2, which is not going to be easy in any case. But what will the pressure of match point, will that change it? Expectant crowd, hoping to see some more tennis. 2 yards on a match point. Chase 2. Flynn very confidently up the court, and it is not enough. Max Trueman and James Medlow are the British amateur doubles champions for 2024. Huge embrace between the two. And the players, the competitors, will shake hands graciously. A fantastic crowd in tonight has seen some amazing tennis. Waving their rackets to the marker, Bryn Sayers. What a fabulous match that was. I'll bring up the statistics from the match. So 2.5 hours for the match, and in the end only 5 points separates the two teams. But the worthy winners for this year's British Amateur are James Medlow and Max Trueman from Seacourt, along with Will Flynn. The Seacourt contingent at this year's British Amateur has done exceptionally well. Drew Lyons and Paul Weaver must be very proud with the way that their players have developed over the years. I believe Drew is in the back of the dead-ons watching on. So once again, congratulations to our winners. It has been a fabulous match of tennis, and there is more tennis to come today, not today, tomorrow, and that is the British Amateur singles final, and that is between Jamie Douglas and Rob Shakeman. That will be live here on the T&RA YouTube channel tomorrow. The players are just getting ready for the presentations. As the crowd, at least some of them, will make their way through to the court. My name has been Ben Gatenbeek. It has been a pleasure calling this event for you all week. And I do encourage you to come down if you can and attend the final. It promises to be spectacular. Join us just in a few moments. We will have coverage of the presentation of the prizes for you shortly. You did something right. Turn up. Tennis and Racket Association CEO Chris Davies sets up the prize giving table.
A few thank yous. These things don't happen without a lot of organisation. So Jamie Giddins, thank you very much for everything you've done. And also my event organisers might be watching the stream, Carolina as well. So thank you, Carolina. Also, big thank you to Queen's Club and the markers. And the markers have put a shift in this week, and particularly on Monday evening, when I think the last match finished at about 20-1, roughly. So thanks. It was a mammoth first match, which went on well over 4 hours. So I suppose the second match was relatively short at just over 2, but fantastic. Of course, this produced a wonderful final day. We don't get great matches without 4 super players. And I'm always told, oh, this is an old man's game, etc., etc. This is not an old man. I think Rory, who's the old man on the court today, probably, at a massive 24, 25. So it's fantastic to see James, Matt, Will, and Rory on court representing the future of the game. Fabulous match. It swung this way and that. Lots of juices. And I suppose part and parcel is knowing each other's game inside out, having grown up together. And 3 of the 4 players, as I said, from the Seaport and Medlow. So thank you for everything Seaport does, and particularly Paul Weaver is not here today. Yeah, it's a great effort. And not forgetting Rory coming across the game from rackets. 4 great players and a great final. Runners up will become collector of prizes, or sorry, finalists. First of all, I should say runners up. Will, Rory, it takes 2 points. It takes 4
Queens for hosting the tournament.
And so that's all from us here this afternoon at Queen's Club. A reminder once again that there will be the amateur singles final played tomorrow afternoon starting at 2:30 p.m. We hope you do join us then, either in person here at the Queen's Club or online here on the T&RA YouTube channel. For now, it's goodbye from all of us here at Queen's Club, and look forward to seeing you around the real tennis community very soon.